We're going to do multiplying decimals by tens, hundreds, and thousands. And I know that you've seen this before, but I'm going to go over it one more time. So a quick example, if I have 9 hundredths times 10, I know that when I multiply a decimal by a 10, 100, or 1,000, I'm just going to move the decimal to the right. And the way I know how many times is by how many zeros I'm multiplying with 10, 100, or 1,000. So in 9 hundredths times 10, I have 1, 0, and 10, which means I'm going to move the decimal one time to the right. So my new answer is 0, 0, decimal 9. And we know that in front of the decimal we only need 1 0, so really I can get rid of that first one, and my answer is 0 and 9 tenths. Now I want you to write down this really convenient chart to help you understand multiplying decimals by tens, hundreds, and thousands. So we're going to have a couple different sections. We're going to have our standard form area, our exponential form area, and our examples. So if I have 10, standard form, it's just the number 10. In exponential form, which we've seen a little bit of this, it's going to be 10 to the first power. And that little 1 just means that in my standard form there's only 1 0. So when I have 100, my exponential form is 10 with a 2 by it, because that 2 means there are 2 zeros in my standard form. It means tens times 10, which equals 100. And then my last one is 1,000. If it had 3 zeros, then on 10 the exponent's going to be 3. 10 times 10 times 10 equals 1,000, or the shortcut is just 3 zeros. Now let's look at some multiplication examples. If I have 45 hundredths times 10, well, I know there's only 1 0, so I'm going to move the decimal to the right one time. And my new answer, the decimal goes between the 4 and 5, so it's going to be 4 and 5 tenths. If I have 45 hundredths times 100, I know that since I have 2 zeros in 100, I'm going to move the decimal 2 times. So it's going to go past the 4 and then past the 5 and give me a final answer of 45 decimal 0, or just 45. And my final example, 45 hundredths times 1,000. Now because I have 3 zeros here, I'm going to move the decimal 3 times. So first once, past the 4, once past the 5, and I'm going to move it a third time, even though there's not a number there. I'm going to move it a third time, and in that empty spot, I'm going to put the ghost 0. So it's really my decimal goes after that ghost 0. So my final answer for 45 hundredths times 1,000 is 450. The decimal goes at the end, but we don't need it because it'd just be a 0 after. Every time there's a 0 on a 10, 100, 1,000, that's how many times you move the decimal to the right.